In today's concept video, I will be telling you how I'd make Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic in Marvel Rivals. First up is my favourite member of the Fantastic Four, Invisible Woman, who'd be a strategist with only 200 HP, which is the lowest health in the game so far, as most heroes have 250 HP. Her left click would be kind of complicated, but basically, at a certain range, at the area you're kind of looking at, you'd reach out your hand, your hands and they'd glow blue even if you're invisible, just to make invisible a bit less overpowered, as you'll see later. But you reach out your hand, and a certain range in front of you, a small force field will quickly kind of appear and expand, which would just kind of pop, doing damage and knock back to enemies, which it hits. Wouldn't do that much damage and would have medium range. Her right click would be fade from view, and this would turn invisible and have a 4-second cooldown. Then she'd turn fully invisible and be unable to be detected for 7 seconds, or until she used basically any ability other than her primary fire, but that would still partially reveal where she was. So far, she might not seem that good with 200 HP, basically no damage, and just invisibility, which all it really does is help her get away. But where she really comes in is with her utility from her next 2 abilities and her fabulous team-up ability, and then her ultimate. When she uses Helping Hand, she provides a nearby ally with 100 temporary shield health, and this is great to use. Well, this is one of the reasons why she's just good at playing behind a good Vanguard, for example, who she can just keep alive, and that's why she works well with her husband. But more on that later. So her left shift has a 7-second cooldown, which starts after, like her ability, both their cooldowns start as soon as the abilities have ended, and this can be channeled for a maximum of 5 seconds. Basically, you create a giant bubble with 300 HP, which also repels enemies, so when you use it, it kind of spread out from you, doing knockback to enemies, and then it'd stay around you and nearby allies to protect them. And you cannot use any other abilities while doing it, but you can still move though at a slower rate. Kind of thinking about it, it's a bit like Ryan's shield from Overwatch, but a large bubble and stops enemies from getting in, though it does have less health and also has a cooldown. And now for probably my favourite attack I've ever made in the entire time making these concepts, which is Envis, where she causes a force field to grow inside the heads of all enemies she's looking at, which after 3 seconds explode and instantly kill them. There are some, well, as for technicalities, skip ahead if you don't hear them, but yeah, I'll go through the technicalities now. So after 1 second, all of the targets are incapacitated, so can't move, can't use abilities, etc. But if before the 3 seconds are up, you take damage, as you're also locked in place and can't move and use other abilities. The ultimate is cancelled, and the targets only take 75 damage, but your cooldowns are reset. So basically, if they damage you in the 1 second kind of charge up, or if something else damages you while they are locked in place, then the ultimate basically becomes useless-ish, so you want to be careful with it. When you use her team-up ability, it means that for the next 10 seconds, if you're very close to an allied Fantastic Four character, and you are invisible, they also become invisible. So my Invisible Woman is definitely a team player, providing lots of defense with Protective Bubble and Helping Hand, and some utility with her primary fire and Protective Bubble both dealing knockback. She has basically no damage, apart from just like melee and her primary fire, but then her ultimate can wipe out entire teams if you're careful. But you do need to be careful with it. You need your team to defend you, just so that, yeah, her weakness is basically flankers in and out of her ultimate. Because fast characters who can quickly hunt her down, yeah, she can't do much against them. If I had to make a combo for her, it'd be kind of use invisibility to run into a team fight, pop Protective Bubble, and when it ends, give a helping hand to an ally, and then probably just go invisible and run out. Now it's time for her husband, who would be a Vanguard with 750 HP, which is a bit more than the average, I think. But as you'll see, his whole kind of how he works as a Vanguard is being a human shield, quite literally. His passive, Smartest Man Alive, means that whenever he gets a kill or assist, his cooldowns are decreased for the next few seconds. And yeah, this wouldn't be able to stack, probably. But then his left click is Elastic Fist, and basically he stretches out his fist and it grows a bit and just does a kind of long range punch, essentially. When he uses his right click, he thrusts one of his arm forwards, and if it hits an enemy, it wraps around them, disabling their ability for 7 seconds, also attacks. And they would be able to still be able to move, but only within range of your arm. So kind of similar to Penny Parker's kind of, she can get pulled back to her web, so they'd be able to move around, but not move out of your range. And you'd still be able to punch with your other fist. And if things happen which meant you'd somehow get tangle before the 3-second cooldown's up, you could technically tangle 2 people at once, but then you wouldn't be able to punch anybody because both your hands would be used up. Oh, and yeah, it has 3-second duration and 7-second cooldown. When he uses Scientific Advancement, he targets the area and basically stretches to it and does an AoV attack, which knocks nearby enemies up into the air. And then his left shift, Human Shield, basically he just expands in all directions and becomes just a giant wall. So while you're in the form, you take less damage, but not by much, and it's your main form of protecting your allies as you're stuck in it until it ends or you cancel it. But yeah, no attacks can go through you, no characters can go through you. You're just a wall. Like his wife, he also has an instant kill ultimate. That's mainly because I wanted to give him the ultimate nullifier, which removes anything it shoots from existence. So he'd lock himself in place and just whip out the ultimate nullifier and either shoot a beam or bolt, which would destroy all terrain it hit and continue going, and instantly kill opponents. So if it was a bolt, it'd just destroy all terrain and hit one opponent. But if it was a beam, it kind of stay there for about 1 second and therefore could mow down multiple enemies. So probably overpowered, but yeah, I wanted to give it to him. His team up ability means basically whenever his passive would activate, nearby Fantastic Four members gain a little bit of damage reduction for a few seconds. So overall, Miss Fantastic is very versatile with his left click having range, but then his Scientific Advancement and Human Shield kind of wanting you to get up in the face of your opponents. So Tangle can let them disable one enemy while still being able to Scientific Advancement and just punch. And he'd mainly want to play with allies who could keep him alive and protect him while he is demolishing your enemies, basically. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Leave any suggestions of characters down in the comments, but to warn you, I have a long list of characters I've already been requested to do. So yeah, and this series will probably be going on for a while, but yeah. And the next episode will probably be finishing off Fantastic Four with Human Torch and The Thing.